Hey guys, Books Nelson here with another video breaking down this Bill Russell Dark Matter. So if you look in the upper right corner of the screen, you will see a brand new feature on this channel. I told you guys, the more you invest in me, the more I'll invest in you right back. And here we go. We're stepping it up here, getting a little more professional in the YouTubes as we get into this Bill Russell card. So let's get right into the content. So Bill Russell is an extremely fun card that I think can be an extremely good card, but it revolves around a couple of things. So first off, elephant in the room. Let's take a look at this jumper. This is a very odd jumper, right? Now this is Hall of Fame difficulty, so this is a very makeable jumper. The thing about this jumper, where I'm shooting from right now, for me, it's easy to see this cue, right? In fact, I'll show it to you. So the cue is basically, when you see his hand right there, on push, you can let it go about right here, which from this side is really easy to see because of that shot put release. But when he's on this side, I think just a little extra practice. I don't think it's a difficult jumper and I don't think it's a bad jumper. It's just goofy, right? So if you can get over the goofiness of this jumper, I do think he'll take a few extra reps compared to a card like, say, Artist Gilmore, who has a very, very easy jumper, right? His jumper just makes absolute sense. It's almost a textbook jumper with Artist Gilmore. I think with Bill Russell, you got to spend a little more time getting that done. The other thing, before we get to the rest of his SIGs, getting the most out of Bill Russell revolves around understanding how to same side burst, right? And now you guys can see this on the overlay. So with his same side burst, he has Pro Hezi, right? So this is the Hezi. Actually a good hesitation. I love the way it creates the space. You can combo this up into other things, but this Pro Hezi, you got to activate this and then you got to run out of it at that angle, right? That's the most surefire way. You get that Pro Hezi going and you run out at the angle. Now, it's in a 1-2 motion, right? And you guys can see the timing on screen now for that 1-2. For some reason, I find it a little more difficult going to the right side. It's going to take extra practice. I can do it, but I would need some reps to be autopilot with it with this hesitation. But yeah, having that down with Bill Russell completely changes the game because, and now we can get to the rest of his SIGs. So you'll see consistently with Bill Russell, he has everything else you need in the character. So first SIG, obviously Devin Booker dribble style, right? So he has this push cross. So this push cross is a great way to change direction. It's kind of a, no offense, I don't mean this in a bad way, but it's like a beginner dribble style because if you don't have a way to burst, this is a nice, super duper easy way to burst in the other direction. However, if you're playing against someone who's using the Devin Booker dribble style, once you know they're doing this, it's pretty easy to guard them. So we're going to talk about how to get out of that. And one of the ways to get out of that is that same side burst. Because if you're sitting on that opposite hand, then that same side burst comes in clutch, right? So we're going to get to more of this because this is a character that definitely invites you to raise your skill level in order to get the most out of him. All right. So after that, he has the Kobe escape. Oh, actually, Donovan Mitchell size up. Let's look at this for a second. So the great thing about this Donovan Mitchell size up is got overall good dribbles, right? But you see here, these dribbles all chain into each other if you combo them slowly. So you see on the stick, I'm actually going really slow on this stick to get these dribble moves to chain back and forth. Now, it's not like you're going to be chaining back and forth all the time, but let me show you the use case of this. So he has Allen Iverson combo moves, and that's this, right? Not super great. And now, if you repeat the Allen Iverson combo moves, you do get a cool combo. The problem is with the ball switching left and right so quickly, there's no way for you to tell which hand it's going to end up in. However, any dribble you do with this character, if you go to this slow combo here, this double crossover, right? After this double crossover, you know what hand it's going to, and you can get to that Devin Booker. Now, obviously, you can also do that off of a single crossover. So looking back at this from the beginning, right? Stage 1, Devin Booker push cross. Stage 2, single cross, Devin Booker push cross the other way. Stage 3, double cross, Devin Booker push cross back in that direction. Now, if you combine that with the same side burst, now you have a way to not only go left and right at will, or should I say off ball hand and ball hand, right? You can go towards the strong hand, towards the ball hand, and towards the off ball hand, but also now you can add some deception in your game. So this alone already makes Bill Russell pretty good. There's another skill dribble I want to address before we get to the rest of his dribble styles, right? His SIGs. So here's the thing. When you're running to the basket, this is crossover. Not super great. He has the, I think the Jamal Murray behind the back. So it's going to do that. Not great when you go into the basket. However, this between the legs is fantastic, right? I wouldn't say fantastic, but it's way better than the other two. So when you do his, well, really anything, right? When you do anything with this character, but particularly the same side burst, you got to get between the legs if you want to get to that bread and butter combo. And for those of you who are new to the channel, haven't seen the other dribble tutorials, the bread and butter combo is basically running in a direction towards the hash, and then you cross over when you get to that point, and then you stick dunk when you get over here, right? So the whole thing, it can go either way. You can either same side burst, right? And see, there we go. And because I got to get between the legs, right? Same side burst, between the legs, stick dunk. So you see how very quickly you get on the rim with that combo, right? And obviously you can also do this with the Devin Booker push cross as well, going the other direction. But the thing about it is, this is so valuable because you cross over before the help comes and you stick dunk immediately afterwards. So the stick dunk is basically, you know, it's like a Street Fighter move, right? It's like a Shoryuken, like a Dragon Punch. And once you establish that stick dunk, if they're not under the rim already, that's going to be completed most of the time, right? If somebody has Hall of Fame anchor and they're kind of in the area, they have a chance to stop it, but it's a low chance. This is a high percentage play. So when you have access to this bread and butter move, you need that between the legs to actually make it pop off because all of his other moving dribbles are just too slow for that to work. All right, moving forward. So his breakdown moves. This breakdown move, nothing to talk about. However, this breakdown move is pretty good, particularly it mixes really nicely with this Devin Booker push cross. You can just slide right out of it. Great size up going into that push cross. Now, I cannot confirm this for sure, but from what I'm hearing, my personal experience is that these size ups are very hard to right stick ripper. They're very hard to steal. I think they might have some invulnerability on them. So the danger of doing any of these size up dribbles in front of people is obviously your right stick ripper bait, right? But if you go into this stuff, you know, again, user results, check it out for yourself. But I think there's a little bit of invulnerability on those can dribbling animations, which gives you more flexibility getting to his explosive moves that we discussed early in the video. All right, so that's another great move. So Kobe escape. So the Kobe escape is a good escape. It's not one of the, I would say it's one of the better escapes in the game. Obviously, Trae Young and Kemba Walker are the two best. But beyond that, Kobe's a pretty good one to have. So you just have to get used to hitting the angle on that Kobe and hitting the timing, excuse me, hitting the timing to explode out of it. So once you get that angle and the timing right, it's very good. It basically works the same as the Kemba Walker. It's just the timing and the angle are a little more strict. But once you get used to it, it's quite good. And it's going to lead you into the next thing, which is this is a very good L2 cancel character, right? He's very good at L2 canceling. So he can L2 cancel with his escape and he can L2 cancel with his behind the back. So we already covered the crossover. It's the Giannis Antetokounmpo. We covered the breakdown moves. Now we go to another really good one. Let's look at this behind the back. Right? So obviously, great behind the back. And now for those of you who were struggling with this, you can see my controller on screen, 5-5-7-7, right? So with the ball in my left hand, 7-7-5-5, 7-7-5-5. That's how you do that spam, right? And you can at any point go into the snatchback. So that's important because not only is that spam, but it also allows you to explode out of that behind the back, which again, going back to that L2 cancel, is a great move to get onto that rim and even get to your jumpers, right? We didn't cover his leaning shot, but he has Kobe Bryant leaner and basic step back, right? So this is what the basic step back looks like. Not the best, although it is an easy release to cash, but I will say the Kobe Bryant leaner, different story, really good. And actually, I think with his release, the Kobe Bryant leaner is kind of a go-to weapon for this card, especially again, mixed in with that bread and butter combo. So for those of you who don't know, that bread and butter combo, you're coming in at this angle right here, right? So that angle threatens the stick dunk, it threatens the leaner, it threatens the L2 cancel, and it also threatens a hop back over here too. Now, you can L2 cancel any move in this game. So if you can L2 cancel that hop back if you're really good at it and shorten that animation window. You can also let go of the controller to get that going as well. And you can also L2 cancel the snatchback. So once you're running at this angle, the opponent has to be afraid of everything you're doing. And I gotta say, it's funny how, same side bursting is still in the community a very underutilized skill. Most people don't know how to do it consistently, especially with all of the escapes that are in my team. So you learn that, and it's a leg up, because a lot of times once you give them one Devin Booker into a Kobe leaner, they're automatically going to try and sit on that opposite ball hand and give you that same side explosion, right? All right. So we talked about pretty much everything except for the hop back. So he's got the John Wall snatch, which is also this hop back. So 2 elite retreating dribbles. Again, if you're new to the channel, we talk about the cardinal dribbling directions here. Being able to move forward, being able to move backwards, north and south, and then ball hand, and then off ball hand, right? If a card can do all of those things and they have a good escape, basically they're an elite dribbler. And he is an elite dribbler. So that having been said, with the L2 cancel, going left and right, you mix in the snatch back. So here's where it becomes important again, right? With the snatch back, that same side burst is so important, right? Because if you can hop back and snatch back and get to that same side burst, now you can do whatever you want with the card. So with that said, I'm just going to briefly talk about the stats and badges. So for Bill Russell, the badges that are absolutely necessary, non-negotiable. Agent 3. Why Agent 3? Because when you do this and you get to that 3-point shot, without Agent 3, that's a difficult shot. With Agent 3, much bigger green window. So I give him at least gold Agent 3 and obviously a shoe. But I honestly think that Agent 3 is even more important than the shoe to just widen this green window, because this is what allows the rest of his game to happen. Otherwise, people are just going to sit on him, and kind of sag off of him. But if this is a lethal weapon for you, see here, Hall of Fame was still hitting it. Without it, I don't think I put Agent 3 on this character. Let me double check. Don't want to lie to the people. Let's see here. Does he have Agent 3? I don't think I put Agent 3 on him just yet. So yeah, makeable with this 80, but 100% you want to get that Agent 3 on there. Yeah, I did not put it on. He has so many badges. So Agent 3 is number 1. Number 2, handles for days. Again, handles for days, it's not even if you're going to be dribbling with him all the time. Even if you're just doing this, you don't want that to just destroy your stamina bar every time you do it. If a card in this point in the game doesn't have handles for days, you either want to give it to them or never ever dribble with them, because the stamina is just going to go so fast without handles for days. It's such an, I'm not going to say overpowered badge. I just think that the stamina is so penalizing when you don't have it. So, definitely get the handles for days on him. After that, I think it's up to you. Hyperdrive is a useful badge to put on him as well. Blinders, all of that stuff. He's got a bunch of badges that you can throw on him. I'm going to say Green Machine is probably number 3 though, right? So handles for days, Green Machine, and Agent 3, I think are kind of non-negotiable to really get the most out of Bill Russell. But if you do all of those things, I think he's a fantastic card, to be honest with you. Really, it's just about getting good at that same side burst and getting comfortable enough with this jump shot that from every angle you can hit it, because the Q does look really different from different sides. It's not like, the ball is at a set point above his head. His head kind of covers it when he's on the left side here. Much easier on the right side here. Now, I will say that doesn't greatly affect the leaners. The leaners are pretty easy to see because the ball's like, it almost feels a little higher above his head on the leaners. But if you do those things, I think Bill Russell can perform at the level of the best power forwards in the game, to be honest with you, especially considering the main thing with the Bill Russell card is that he's absolutely elite defensively, right? So that's going to kind of cut it for Bill Russell, man. This guy can really move. If you get your hands under all of this stuff, especially these like slow size ups that you can burst out of, I think the card has a lot more juice than one might think. Even with the good SIGs that he has, I think getting used to that size up and that same side burst really opens the card up, all right? So that's going to be it for this Bill Russell. Congrats to all of you who have it. I do think you have a good card. He requires a little extra effort, but once you put that effort in, I actually think he's fantastic. Thank you so much for all of you. All of the subs have gone absolutely crazy. Please like and subscribe. Let's keep it going. Road to 1,000. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.